Hello everyone, Space Coast Daily here with Dr. Ashish Udeshi, who is going to give us some information today about himself and about basic spinal anatomy to help you learn more about how to be healthier here on the Space Coast. Dr. Udeshi, welcome.
Welcome, Giles. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure, sir.
Likewise.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, sure. As if people don't know who I am already, but still, just to give you another insight about me. I've been here for 6 years back in Brevard County, but I was born in Titusville, Florida, so a Brevard native. I'm a physician actually at Florida Pain Institute. We have 3 locations here in the county. We serve the Merritt Island area, the Pineda area, and then also down in Palm Bay. I came up after my training down at the University of Miami. Go U. Been a tough year for us down there, but hopefully things will get better. But I did everything down there: undergraduate school, medical school, residency in anesthesia, and then also an interventional pain management fellowship program. And so tonight, what I wanted to discuss with everybody is review some of the basic anatomy of the spine, because I think that's very important. It's one of the conditions people always complain about, whether it's their neck, their middle back, or their lower back. And I think having a good understanding about that spine structure is what I wanted to accomplish today.
Now, I'm a great witness to this, Doctor, because one of your partners changed my life many years ago. I actually was a former soccer player, 620 soccer games. Oh. So with spinal stenosis.
It's a lot of headers, Giles.
A lot of headers, but I can do whatever I want today, thanks to one of your partners at Florida Pain. Yep. So I'm really indebted to you for that. So basic spinal anatomy. Let's start with the first slide.
All right, let's go to class, guys. So first slide here, we have actually in our spine, there are basically 3 areas that we're looking at. We have the cervical part of our spine. Actually, I have my friend, our model over here, to help us identify some things as well. So you can see in this particular area, there's 7 bones that make up the top part of the spine, or the cervical neck region. When you go down into the middle part of the spine, that's where we have 12 bones, or thoracic bones. And below that, in that location, we have our lumbar spine. And there's 5 bones, and then underneath that, you have your tailbone here, and then your coccyx structure. So the bones are just one component of the spine. In between these bones is where we actually have soft cushions or discs. If you want to go to the next slide, we can take a look more in terms of seeing what's there. And so when we take a look at these structures here, and I'll show you particularly what we're talking about with the discs. The discs are the areas in between the bones. They're kind of like our shock absorbers. And we have these discs that separate the bones, and they're supposed to stay within the boundaries. Behind this area here is where you have your spinal canal, and you have your nerve roots that exit from those spinal canal areas and supply different regions. So whether that's in your neck, down to your arms, or from down to your legs, from your back, those are what those nerve roots do, and that's where they exit out of these little holes called foramen. So let's take a look at this disc a little bit more. If I was to cut you, Giles, in slices like a loaf of bread, I'd be looking at different sections, and these are the sections that we would see. So these are the bone areas, that's that spinal canal, and that's that disc structure right here. And there's 2 components of that disc. There's that nucleus pulposus area, which is the inside, and then you have the outer tough annulus fibrosus. And over time, when people have some disc problems, you can see these discs get a little bit wider, and some of the contents from that nucleus on that inside can go out to the back there. So we really wanted to review some of these structures so you can see what's going on. And I think on the next slide we have some areas where you can see some different conditions. So what are the conditions that people usually notice? Well, you can have a degenerative disc. You can see the height's not the same. This is a bulging disc. You can see that goes into this canal area. So imagine this is the back part of that spine. This is the front part of that spine. And you can see that disc not staying within the boundaries of the 2 bones. You have the herniated disc here. Think of this as a jelly donut, and you just squish some of the jelly out of that donut. And then you have a thin disc over time. The other component of the spine that we also see is here in the areas of where these 2 bones or vertebrae meet up, what we call the facet joints. And that facet joint is a problem zone sometimes as well. That's where you have some arthritis buildup. So those are some of the key things that I wanted to accomplish today, is quickly go over that you have different regions of your spine. You have your cervical region, you have your thoracic region, you have your lumbar region. The lumbar regions have discs, have nerves, and all these different areas and structures can be problematic.
There it is, folks. If you'd like more information, check back to this website. You'll find lots of useful information. Dr. Udeshi, thank you so much for clearing that up.
No problem. Thank you, Giles.